What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is JRob here from Team Energy Golf Clash, and we have yet again another awesome tournament guide this week for you guys at the Frosty Peaks tournament here. We have Grunberg Slopes here as our featured tournament course. So before we get dialed in here and really show you guys all of the best ways here to play these holes and get you set up for this week's tournament, we have some absolutely huge news here as well. We've hit a massive milestone on the YouTube channel. We now actually have a new donation link as well in the top right-hand corner of the channel's homepage, right next to our Facebook groups that we also encourage you guys to join. But if you guys haven't hit that subscribe button for us yet, click that subscribe button down below. Join the Team Energy family. Help us spread those good vibes and positivity out there on the course. But without further ado, let's jump on over to the tournament guide and get started with hole number 1, par 4 on Grunberg Slopes. Alright guys, welcome to the pro and expert level tournament guide video here for Frosty Peaks tournament. So we have Grunberg Slopes here as our featured course. We've got hole number 1 here, par 4 to start us off. So right off the drive here, if we play this one on the left-hand side here, if we're going to try to lay up here on the second fairway and take a chip shot and get the eagle, this is how we're going to play it here. At plus 10% elevation here, and at a 6.5 miles per hour wind here on the left-hand side, I would usually had moved that just about to the blue ring. Now at 6.5 plus my elevation, I'm actually going to move that all the way out just a little bit past where the clear ring is at my elevation plus my wind adjustment. So we definitely want to factor that in as well. Now if we do play the right hand side, say we get a nasty headwind, we're just going to lay up on the very right hand corner of the first fairway there, and that shot is going to be played at mid distance with your long iron at 0%. Now this shot here, if we play the left hand side like we were beginning to talk about here, we have a 5.4 miles per hour wind here. So this shot here is going to be played at about minimum distance here with our short iron. So at 5.4, I would have usually moved this about to the outside of the clear ring there. But since we're going to play this shot at minus 10% because the green is up on a plateau, we're going to play that at minus 10%. So we're not going to make our full wind adjustment there, especially because we're already in minimum distance. So we're going to move that just in the middle of the blue ring there. And if I would have hit a perfect shot there, that would have been a lot closer at going in the pin. And that's going to be, the biggest thing here that I want you guys to do is make sure that you hit perfect shots. I've had a lot of trouble since the update with my needle glitching, hitting perfect shots here, in some cases. But, I'm hoping to get that figured out for sure. Not sure if it's my phone or what. But we're going to show you guys another more aggressive approach here. If you guys really want to try to drive the green almost, we can play this here right either with full overpower and maybe a power 5, power 4 ball, and we can bounce it all the way onto the second fairway. I would recommend going with about 6 to 7 bars of topspin there then. But if you're going to bounce off of the first fairway onto the second fairway and then rolling onto the rough and the third patch of fairway here that the green lies on, you're definitely going to have to use full topspin. And this shot here is just going to be a nice wedge shot here to the pin. And I would definitely recommend extending out that ball guide like you see my opponent doing here, so that you can cut out a lot of that wind and you can get the most accurate shot possible. But that's going to be pretty much the best ways to eagle hole number 1, par 4. Alright guys, so that is going to move us on over to our first par 5 here that we do have today at hole number 2 here for Grunberg Slopes. So We can play this one of two different ways here, depending on the wind that we do have. Now, I would recommend playing this with full topspin here, a couple bars of left-hand side spin, and we're going to play this with about 50% curl here to the left. Now, at 7.4 miles an hour, plus my 10% elevation here off the tee box, I knew this was going to move about 5 rings here. So I moved this just about up to where it was into the rough line there. I used just a little bit of overpower there to fight the wind in the elevation, and just made sure that I had my curl right there to make sure that we got a nice straight drive right down the middle of the fairway. So that's going to set ourselves up for a really nice albatross attempt here. This is going to be a very nice hole here for a lot of you guys that can get your wind adjustment and hit a perfect ball here. As I've been saying, I've definitely had some trouble here hitting a perfect ball. But what we're going to do here is leave our ball guide through the pin here if we have a headwind blowing back at us. And if this is blowing away from us as a tailwind, we're going to leave this just shy of the pin. Now, we're going to play this at 30% here at either mid or max distance. Now, as you can see, we're into max distance here now. Now, that is going to be this shot here on the left. Now, we could get into mid over on the right-hand side if we get far enough down there and have to either use our sniper, or we could play it at max distance with a long iron here. But as you can see, at our wind there plus the 30%, we were able to play that at roughly 8 rings there and come in. We hit a great ball there and came in a little bit to the right, but a perfect ball there would have definitely been very close to going into the hole. But we're going to show you guys here the right-hand side option as well. This is a very great option as well here to play on the right-hand side. We can either play this here with a power 4 or a power 5 ball, sometimes even a power 3 ball here if we have a direct tailwind. We can play it all the way up onto that second fairway. You can use a little bit of overpower there as well. I would recommend full topspin and full left-hand side spin. But if we don't have a direct tailwind and we have kind of a crosswind tailwind here like I have on this hole now, what we can do is play this just with the same numbers, full topspin, full left-hand side spin, and we're just going to bounce off of that first fairway down this left-hand side, and the fairway does slope a little bit to the left there, so you might want to try to hug the right-hand side just a little bit because you don't want to roll into the rough there. But as you can see here, just in front of us is about max distance here. So we're about mid distance here with our sniper here on the right hand side. Now, depending on how far you get down there, you may be either in, strictly max distance, or, you might be in max distance with your long iron, who knows if you get far enough down there. But essentially, we're going to play this with 30% elevation no matter how far we get down there. So I played this here at about 7.5 rings, plus the 30% elevation there. So unfortunately, we hit a great ball here again. So we come in here a little bit further to the right, but as long as you guys are able, to hit these perfect balls, you guys should be very, very close to coming in and snagging those shots. So this is definitely going to be another hole here that's going to be a really great opportunity for some of you guys to hit the albatross. Just make sure that you guys make a nice wind adjustment, take your time, hit a perfect ball, and you should have no problem. Okay, so that's going to move us on over to hole number 3 here, par 3. So what we're going to do here is play this one of two different ways depending on the wind that we have. Now, if we have a headwind, we're going to play this 3 bars topspin, 3/4 of a bar left-hand side spin. If we have a tailwind, we're going to reduce that down to 2.5 bars topspin and 3/4 of a bar left-hand side spin. Now, we're going to play this off the tee box at mid-distance here, plus 20%. Now, I moved this 7 rings there, and then another 2 rings to make that 9 rings total. Now, what I want you guys to do here is actually move that 10 rings instead of 9. I miscalculated here a little bit on this particular shot and only moved that 9 when I should have moved it 10, and that would have made us come in one block higher there, straight at the pin, catching that hole for the hole-in-one. So this is going to be a really nice hole here for you guys that can hit that perfect ball and make a nice wind adjustment like we were talking about to get that hole-in-one. Alright guys, so moving on to hole number 4 here, par 4. We can play this hole one of two different ways here. We can either play this one down the middle lane here, or we can play this one to the right hand side. So I hope that you guys can bear with me here as we go through these holes. I am a little bit sick here. I've been working outside all week, so my nose is a little bit stuffed up and trying to still make the guide here for you guys. But what we're going to do is play this at max distance off the tee box here at 0% elevation. So we're going to play it full top spin essentially and 2 to 3 bars of right hand side spin. We can play it with a little bit of curl as well, which I would recommend to help pull us away from that bunker there, because you will definitely find yourself being pushed down towards that bunker. So if we get a nice drive down onto that second fairway here, it's going to set ourselves up for a really nice mid-distance shot here with the short iron. Now, this is going to be our middle option here for our second shot as well on the right-hand side info box. So this shot is going to be played at mid-distance plus 10% like we were talking about. So at a 5.5 miles per hour wind adjustment here, I would usually move that at mid-distance just into the middle of the white ring, but at plus our 10%, we needed to move that all the way to the outside of the white ring, making that 5 rings in total. So if we were to hit a perfect ball here, we would have came in straight at the pin, really nice, snagging that eagle. So this is going to also be another really nice hole here that you're going to see a lot of those guys playing that aggressive option, making that really nice chip and landing that eagle. But if you guys end up with a nasty, headwind or something like that, or a really, nasty tailwind, and you don't, or, crosswind, and you don't feel comfortable taking that left hand or middle option, we can drive down the right hand side lane. And if we do get down here further enough, and we, happen to just roll into the rough or something at the end of the fairway, you will be able to make the green. That's going to kind of throw away your eagle attempt, but you will be able to at least make the green and make the birdie. But we're going to make it down this right-hand side lane as far as we possibly can. Then we're going to set ourselves up for a nice second shot here at either medium distance here with our long iron, or maximum distance here, or minimum distance there with our sniper, or mid to max distance here with our long iron, depending on how far up you get your ball down that right hand side lane. You may end up using a minimum distance sniper shot, as we just showed you there. The sniper is about up towards the green, so if you're back about 30 to 30 yards, that's probably what you'll end up using. But if we are further up here like we are now, we're going to play this shot here at mid-distance plus 10% on this particular shot. If you do push your target up closer with the Goliath, you'll play that at max distance plus 10%. But as you can see here at perfect ball, we come in here fairly nice, straight at the pin. And if we would have used just a little bit less backspin there, we would have been straight into the pin, dropping really nice there for an eagle. So either way that you play, the left-hand side or the right-hand side, you're going to have a very good option there at snagging that eagle either way. So this is going to be one of those holes that you're going to have to make if you want to do as good as you can. Alright though guys, that's going to move us on over to hole number 5, our second par 3 that we do have here today. So we have a couple different options here for you guys to play this hole as well. So as you can see, we're at just about max distance here with our long iron. So that's what we're going to play this with. We're going to play this at max distance plus 15% here. I would recommend playing this either with the Goliath or the Grizzly with like a power 3 ball if you have it. you're going to have to use a little bit of a, a higher powered ball if you use the Grizzly there, because as you can see, we're just pushing, almost max distance there with our Goliath. But what we're going to do is play this plus 15% there. So at 6.8, I basically moved that all the way out to the white ring, which would have been 8.7 on my Goliath there. So plus 15% there. I moved that to the white ring, which we should have moved it just a little bit into the middle of the white ring, and that would have been perfect there, coming in straight at the pin, nice for a hole-in-one. So you're gonna have to pick a nice high arced landing spot there. Just use just about half a bar top spin there, straight at the pin, make a nice wind adjustment, and you should be fairly close. If you don't feel comfortable with that option, you can either play this with the Guardian here or the Sniper. Now, this shot is going to be played at minimum distance here with plus 15% as well. So just make sure that you account for that. So at 5.7 here, I needed to move this over just all the way to the yellow ring, and then move this almost two rings over as well, because we needed to move that 1.5 ring there for our 15%. So coming in here with a perfect ball, it's going to blow ourselves back just beside the rough line. It's going to push ourselves up and roll the ball back in towards the pin. The ideal shot is to actually get that to bounce further up onto that little backstop of the green there, and it will actually roll all the way back down and get into the pin. Alright guys, so that is going to move us on over to our second par 5 here that we do have today at hole number 6, par 5. So we can play this one of two different ways as well. We can play this right down the middle here, or we can play this from the right hand side, curling it there to the left. Now, either option is perfectly fine. I just kind of base it off of whichever way my wind is blowing here. Now, because I had a right to left wind, I chose to use the right hand side to help that wind blow my ball back to the left, using that full top spin, left hand side spin, and roughly about 40 to 50% curl here to the left, getting your ball to bounce and catch the middle of that fairway, riding as far down there as you possibly can to set ourselves up here for a really nice second shot, attacking the pin using this awesome funnel here on the left hand side. Now, I want you guys to try to correct what I did wrong here, but what we're going to do is use roughly about 2.25 bars of topspin here and 2 bars of left hand side spin. Now, what we want to do is use that little hill there to shoot our ball straight back in towards the pin. Now, this second shot here is going to be played at max distance at 0%. If you play the left hand side or the right hand side, it's both the same. I actually don't have the left-hand side option clipped here, but either way, it's going to be played the same. But on that particular shot there, as you can see, we didn't ride up that hill far enough because we used that curl there. So I want you guys to take out the curl on that shot, and I want you guys to shoot straight at the very corner of that right hand side, and it should grab that corner, shoot you straight down, and get you right into the pin. But alright guys, that is going to move us on over to hole number 7 here, par 4. So right off of the tee box here, we're going to play this at max distance plus 20% for this particular shot. If we choose to go onto the second island and use 5 bars of backspin straight at the pin. Now, what I want you guys to do is actually pull your ball guide back and leave it roughly 2 squares short of the pin, so that your ball still has just that little bit of room to roll and catch the pin, so that it drops and doesn't hit the pin too fast and actually bounce out like you see us come in here. Now, we're going to play that at 20% like we said. Now, if we pull that back those couple squares, it'll have that time to roll like it did there and actually hit the pin and drop. So it started to roll about, 2.0 before it actually got to the pin, so it didn't have that time to slow down. But if you guys don't feel comfortable using that option, we have this option here for you guys as well. You can pull it back here like my opponent decided to do. You can actually play this with just roughly about half of a bar of topspin here. You could actually go with just no movement on your ball, like no spin. So we're going to play this still here at 20%. Even if you go, shoot your ball onto the very first fairway, it's still going to be played with the same elevation. But our goal here is to bounce off of the first fairway, hit the second fairway, then onto the third fairway, and roll down onto the pin. Because as you can see, it's an elevation down to another plateau, down to the green. But alright guys, that's going to take us on over to hole number 8 here, par 4. Hole number 7 is definitely going to be a trickier par 3 for you guys. But for hole number 8 here, we can either play this to the left-hand side here, or we can play this bounced over the bunker there, down the right-hand side lane. But if we're going to play this here to the left or the right-hand side, no matter what, we're going to play this at max distance plus 15% here off of our tee box here, the second tee box here that we have today. So we're going to get down here as far as we can on the left-hand side. We're going to get up this little bit of a hill, and it's going to set ourselves up for a nice second shot here at either minimum distance or maximum distance with our long iron or our wood club at minimum distance. So there's minimum distance with our sniper, or we have maximum distance here with our long iron plus 30%. Now that's going to be minimum distance plus 30% if you use your wood club. Now we will go over the short iron option here in a second, but as you can see here at 6.4 miles per hour here, our second shot plus 30% here, I actually should have moved this all the way over to the outside of the white ring. But as you're going to see here, we're going to actually come in and hit a great shot here. We actually hit perfect ball. Excuse me, I thought we hit a great shot here. But we hit perfect ball here, and we come in further to the left. So if we move that to the white ring, that actually comes in and hits perfect ball straight at the pin for the eagle. So just make sure that you guys make your elevation correctly. That's going to be the biggest factor there, is knowing what our wind adjustment is at what club length. But as we were going to discuss, we have a short iron option here as well. So the plateau right there, where right behind where the green lies on that hook, we can actually almost drive the green here. So we can drive and bounce right over that bunker on the right hand side with full overpower, and we're going to use full topspin. And what we're going to do is bounce off of that fairway on the right, and it's going to just bounce down here and clip the rough, and we're actually going to end up about 30 yards behind where my target is right now on this fairway that our target is lying on now. So it's going to bounce to the right where our ball is lying, and then it's going to bounce all the way down. But that shot is going to be played at a short iron at mid-distance plus 10% because we're already so far down there. But as you can see here, with the minimum distance sniper shot there, plus 30%, we came in very, very close there. If we would have hit perfect ball, that's a good shot there as well. Alright though guys, that is going to move us on over to our last hole here at hole number 9, par 5 here. So we can play this one either one of two different ways, but if you're trying to get the albatross here, I would definitely recommend playing this to the left-hand side because it's going to give you your best opportunity to snag that albatross and one-up your opponent. So what we're going to do here, right off of the tee box here, is we're going to play this with a little bit of overpower if we want, plus 5% elevation here off the tee box, and full topspin, couple bars of right-hand side spin, and we're going to get ourselves down here as far as we possibly can on this left-hand side fairway to set ourselves up for a really nice albatross opportunity here at the pin. Now, what I want you guys to do here for this shot is play this shot with 3 bars of backspin and 2 bars of right-hand side spin. Now, you're going to have to find a nice bounce location right on the side of this little hill here. As you can see, there's a little dimple there in the fairway. We're looking for a spot right behind that where there's a little bit of a knoll there. So what we're going to do here at 5.3 miles per hour plus our 5% elevation here, we're going to play this at 6 rings. So if we hit a perfect ball here, this is going to come in very, very nice here. It is going to be an absolute awesome albatross opportunity. Now, if we play this to the right-hand side, we can't really get this shot as dialed in because we have to use so much curl to curl it around to the pin, and we can't really get it as dialed in as we'd like. So, good luck on this hole number 9, par 5, guys. Going to be an awesome albatross opportunity, but that is going to be the wrap-up here, guys, for the Frosty Peaks Tournament Pro and Expert level guide here that we do have today. If you guys are still with us here and you haven't hit that subscribe button, click that subscribe button for us down there below. Join the Team Energy family and help us spread those good vibes and positivity out there on the course. Thank you guys so much for being here. We really hope that this content helped you and gave you a good general idea on how to play this Grunberg Slopes course before the tournament. We're always trying to give you guys the best possible information that we can before the tournament comes out to give you guys the best advantage that you possibly can in practice and in those qualification rounds. But thank you guys for being here. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and we will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.